Hey everyone, hi, how are you from wherever you're joining me from? Let me know your name and where you're joining from. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. We have our guests in the house. We have our guests in the house. Samuel, you're very welcome to this platform. I'm so glad you could join. Hi, how are you, Michael? Sorry, Samuel. Michael is in my head. How are you, Samuel? How are you? Thank you for joining. I listened to a bit of your story. I
Hi,
believe to
everybody.
hear me. Can you hear me,
Yeah, I can
Samuel?
hear you.
Ah, good. Okay. I said I
Yes, I
listened
can
to
hear
your
you.
story. I listened to a bit of your story a couple of days ago, and I'm like, wow, I'm sure this story will help someone. So we call this my series from the Love and Relationship series, and it's focused on how marriage affects children positively or negatively. Your story was so moving, so touching. I didn't even want us to go too deep. I said someone has to hear that, and I know. So for those of you who are joining us, let's know your name and where you're joining us from. Remember, we're one global family, and the purpose of this platform is to help you build healthy relationships. And even if you're in a relationship already, to go back to the root and see what you can repair in the foundation. This is the whole purpose. Remember, we are as successful as our relationship. That's our mantra on this line. And of course, also the most important thing you need to know is that who we are, we attract. We attract who we are. So if you're watching me and you don't like the vibe of your relationships, you just might want to start looking inwards to find out why do you attract certain kind of people to yourself, right? It's easier to point fingers, but the greatest love of all is to know yourself and to love yourself and to own up to who you are, your strengths and your weaknesses. Again, fasten your seatbelt. Where my Samuel is about to take us on a journey. I have a number of questions for him to help someone who might be going through a challenge, the kind of challenges that he went through. He's in a better place now, but of course, there's no end to healing. So I know that Samuel, you're coming also on this platform, will help you heal further and move faster into your relationships. Welcome, Samuel. Will you please introduce yourself to our viewers at this point? Can you hear me? I need to always check the audio. Can you hear me, Samuel? Can you hear me? I'm not
Okay,
sure you can.
everybody. Yeah, I can hear you.
I think there's a lag. Okay. Can you introduce yourself briefly to our
Yes, I can
viewers?
hear you.
Okay. Go ahead.
I can hear you. Yes,
I said, please
I can hear you.
introduce yourself to our viewers. I think there's a lag
I can hear you.
between. I can hear you. Can you hear me right now? There's a kind of lag. I think it takes a few seconds for you to hear me. Okay, I'll jump right to the questions. I hope that you can hear
Hi,
me real.
everybody.
Okay, there's some kind of lag. So, Samuel, I was saying that, okay, tell us about your journey from losing your mother. Okay, now I could definitely see it was a connection error. Okay, I'll just fill in for him. So, the part of the story I heard, and I was like, wow, I need you to, talk about your story for yourself, was that he had lost his mom, obviously, when he was 17. And his dad, of course, got married again, which is expected, is expected at that age for the man. I don't know exactly how his dad was when he became a widower. And we all know that when step mommy, step daddy, when the step family comes into the mix, it explodes into things that you don't even imagine. And what I can tell people, if you're watching me and you grew up in a step family, usually every family is dysfunctional to a certain extent. Those ones who are not outrightly dysfunctional is because someone did the work, right? Of getting healed and of learning about how healthy relationships work, really, guys. Let's face reality. And that's what this is all about. This is what my story series is all about. So people who come from homes that seem not to be dysfunctional is because either or both of the parents have taken the time, to heal, to recognize their hurt, their trauma, and to heal their trauma. And that's why they appear not to be. Can you hear me now? Is it better now, Samuel? Can you hear me real life or real time? I think it's microphone or maybe even the internet. That's what I'm suspecting. There's a lag. Okay, so let me continue to fill in for him. Um, those of you who are in a place where you think it's a step family issue, you know, or we call it here the mixed family, you know, maybe there's remarriage and all of that. Yes, it can be really messy, right? If both parties don't handle it well, if both parents don't, you know, carry the kids along, or maybe one party is stronger, whatever, there's different dynamics. But what I want you to know is that the issues that you face in a step family is not just about the step family itself, it's about family, it's about familiarity, it's about broken people doing life together. And if you don't understand that, you set up yourself for failure even from the very beginning. I'm very mindful of single parents here as well who intend to get married or remarry and all of that. You have to be mindful of what happens to kids in this kind of dynamics. Let me see if Samuel is able to. Samuel, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Uh-oh. The connection must be really poor. I see you. I see the video. Can you hear me? Okay, let me continue to fill in for him. So yeah, if you're watching today and listening to me, the reality is that I think every family is dysfunctional. Let's blame it on Adam and Eve, right? Everybody's dysfunctional in one way or the other. The only game changer is when, you know, people in a family, members of the family, realize that, hey, we're all having to do life together, even in spite of our brokenness, right? And because of that, there's then tolerance, there's then acquisition of knowledge, which you're doing by joining Hope Now Love and Relationship series. It's very important that you realize, I think that already takes care of a lot of problems that is actually traceable to intolerance, because people just think everyone has to be perfect or everyone has to be like you or think like you. But like I said, we're all flawed in one way or the other. We're not perfect, so don't expect perfection. But I said that to say this: he grew up in this toxic environment where the stepmom, you know, would make demands from the dad, to the point that he got into shady deals, right? And because he got into shady deals, of course, he had to go to jail for it. He was arrested and all of that. He's released now. But you can imagine what that did to young Samuel. You can imagine what that did to a 17-year-old going 18, you know, just starting to know what life is. It totally messed him up. So he got into a relationship himself, you know, with a single mom. And I like that this is coming up, because last week, remember, we had our guest Bridget on, and she was a single mom. So he got into a relationship with a single mom, which there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm imagining, that's why I wanted him to say the story himself. I'm imagining that one, it must have been a combination of lack of mommy, right? So he needed that motherly figure, which assumably most single moms should be, not all. Again, I speak in generalizations. Most single moms have, you know, they know what it means to be broken. I don't know. It depends on how they became a single mom, maybe unmarried single, or they lost their spouse or divorce. Any which way, a single mom is expected to have a bit more maturity and tolerance, right, than the younger one. But unfortunately, he found himself in the mix of, you know, having to be a provider, right? The single mom, was self-sufficient at first, and then I think he said she lost her job or business or something like that, and her finances went down south. And because of that, he had to step up. He was expected to step up as a man. And of course, whatever he could earn cannot be enough, you know, or suitable for the, you know, responsibilities that the lady already had. And let me chip in here, guys. And I want to hear from you, everyone joining me, that how much do you expect a man, for the ladies, right? How much do you think is fair to expect a man to bring to the table? Enough to provide daily meals and pay maybe the rent or a house and all of that, or more? Let me hear your comments on this. I know the newer generation, the younger generation have, you know, their mind made up. I don't support anyhow that you get married to a bum if you're a lady, or a man who has no future ambition, who has no vision and just wants to live off you. But I think there should be a balance. I really wanted to talk about that today, if Samuel is able to join. But that's basically his story that I heard from him in a nutshell, that now the lady left him, apparently because you know, they were separated because of the financial issues. And I found myself asking that, hey, at what point should a lady step up and be a lady, a support? Because a marriage is meant to be a place where two people form a team and be on each other's side, in each other's corner, right? To help each other, make it in life, succeed in their vision. There are deeper meanings to that, of course, and this is not the topic we're looking at today, so I won't go in there. But at what point should a lady then help her man when it comes to income? We're talking about income, we're talking about emotional support. Again, what do you expect from a male? And I want our viewers, the ones who are female, to please answer that question. What do you expect from men? What do you expect from a man? If you're single, what's your focus in a relationship, in a marital relationship? Do you want a place where your husband, pays all the bills and there's nothing wrong in that? It's basically the primary duty of a man to provide, right? And then at what stage does that demand become unfair, to the male himself? If you're watching and you're female, I would like you to answer that question. I see that Adeyinka is on. Hi, Yinka, nice to have you on. Thanks for joining. I see that Rotimi, man. Hey, Rotimi, how are you today? Nice to have you on. If you're watching live, please invite as many as you can. Let's talk about this. At what point, because we're talking about how marriage affects, children. So he was in this marriage situation of his parents where the father had to virtually go out of his means to try and, meet the demands of the mom, of the stepmom. Unfortunately, he also then, got into a relationship with, assumably, I don't know her age, but once a woman has a child, usually they say women are smarter than men emotionally, they grow faster. An 18-year-old girl is like a 25-year-old man. Generally, it's been proven to be right. So when a lady then has a child, that intelligence, that emotional intelligence, spiritual intelligence increases exponentially. So at what point should a woman be there for her man, and what does that mean for you if you're a lady watching me? How much, just give me like how much must a man earn to be worthy of your loyalty and of your respect? Because for me personally, I really don't think that money should be a huge deal if you both have an understanding of how much A and B is supposed to, bring to the table. And in a situation when life happens, maybe somebody loses the job, what would be a meaningful, support system financially? I want to hear from you ladies and males as well. Samuel, you're back. I hope your audio works now. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm sorry, everybody.
Yes, I'm glad. I just told them your story in a nutshell, but it won't be like you. So let me go back now and find out what I really want. Can you tell us about your journey from losing your mom at a young age to where you are now? Can you just tell us in a nutshell? I shared with them that your mom died when you were 17, if I remember very well. And then your dad, you ended up having a stepmom. And then, please take it from there.
So my mom died when I was 17, and I think that time I was still in secondary school, And
so sorry to hear that.
Sorry, and then it wasn't really that hard though. I can't say it's that hard because I have my father to actually feed for me. That time he has not. That time he doesn't have a wife. Doesn't have a new wife. So I think we're still together for like 1 year before he thought of getting another wife. You understand? So 1 year, that was 1 year. So but I have a brother and a sister. They are not here with me right now. That my brother is in the village with my grandma, and then the sister I have is the stepsister, which is the wife my dad just got married to.
So you're the oldest?
Yeah, I'm the firstborn.
Okay.
So moving on from there, I had to. It's really hard with me staying with my stepmom. Very, very hard. There's no how a stepmom will treat you like her own. You cannot receive that kind of love. I don't know about other people, but if you see anyone that will treat you like your mom, they're not up to 20% over 100.
Yeah, but they exist. They are rare, but yeah.
She could buy it. She used to do like the breastfeeding. So once she got into the house, so hard. So I had to leave the house. I had to leave the house. I had to go stay with my auntie. They're like a family friend. They're not like
Family
not
friend.
family friend, but they're a family friend. Yeah. So I went to stay there because they really liked me from small. That's like where they gave birth to me. The compound we were staying before. That's like where they gave
Mhm.
birth to me, and they really liked me since I was a baby. Yeah, so I
Mm.
used to go there anytime I like. So when I when I see that okay, this lady is giving me issues, I don't think I can stay with her in the house. And my dad is never even concerned about it. Normally, it's his new wife. You still want to like support his wife or stuff like that. And
Mm.
then I had to leave the
Mm.
house and then go stay upstairs. She stays in the same compound but upstairs. So I went upstairs.
Mhm.
We were fine. We were fine. Yeah, I even have my room. We're doing okay for like 3 months, 4 months, and then they had to show me that okay, this is not your house again.
Sorry, we're losing your audio and video too, actually. Okay, so I will fill in while we're trying to get back his connection. Um, what I have picked up.
Everybody will have to show this. I have to show you this now. There. So they had to the way I was being treated is just it's not
Oh, what a shame. His story is very compelling. Okay, like I said, I'll keep feeling for him. Adeyinka, I just read your message. Now let me post it. Let me post it. Hello, ma'am. You said my man should bring in 80% to the table. If financially he is incapacitated, I can step up, but he should be obviously trying and not be complacent. I fully accept that point of view, really. I fully accept that, Adeyinka. It's very important that from the beginning of a relationship, let there be a clarity about expectations, right? Of the roles of each party. And that when life happens, just like Adeyinka shared with us, then there also has to be a system in place so that the breadwinner knows this is not forever. Somebody said ladies love to spend the money of their husband even when they have their own. That's true. I think that's just the natural way that God made it. The contribution of the father is very powerful financially. And so I want to even pray for every of our male that may your hands always have to give. May your hands be always able to provide. That's what you're meant to do, really. Provider. A woman is the nurturer. Now, modern life has kind of, tilted that balance, unfortunately. And most women have found themselves in the workplace, being the CEO, being the chief executive, being the managers, being the workers, and all of that, maybe working as much as the man or even more than, which, of course, again, is what we see affecting society. But because that's not the purpose of today, I just wanted to hear from as many ladies. If you're joining us and you're a lady, can you let me know in the comment below how much is fair enough for a man, if you're single, for your potential husband, and if you're married, for your husband to bring to the table? You don't have to say the amount, but you can say the percentage. For example, 50%, 100% of the monthly cost. I mean, a cost of accommodation, cost of feeding, and so on and so forth, transportation, healthcare. Because if you're starting a marriage or a family, I tell people you have to have a logical approach to it. I think that's what causes all of the mess that we see in our time. So people are very tech savvy and knowledgeable. Environment, is everywhere. You just have to Google something, and within seconds you have hundreds of thousands of response to what you googled, and that's the sign of the knowledge age. It's not bad at all, but I believe, and of course you, my family here on Love and Relationship, definitely are not in that category. You need to be investing time on knowledge. You are investing time on knowledge. That's why you're here. Everyone joining us, thanks for joining. It's nice to have you on. I think Samuel is back. Let me see. Samuel, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. So let's
I
move.
mean,
Let's move on. You've said a bit about your background, how your mom died, and how the dynamics of step family came, and how you had to leave because of the difficulties. How did the loss of your mom, if you look back now, how did that affect your family dynamics? What was it like growing up with a stepmom, which is what you started already, right? And the shady things your dad got to because of the stepmom. That's what I was asking them while we lost your audio. That what is reasonable for a man to bring to the table as a provider that a woman should be satisfied with, rather than what happened to your dad and I had to go beyond his means to try and please the new wife, right? How did that affect you psychologically, emotionally?
I really don't really understand the question. I don't know. Maybe I think the line was actually breaking. I don't know if you can actually just let me rephrase it again.
I can hear you now. Can you hear me now better? Is it breaking still?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
How did
I can hear you.
the dynamics how did the dynamics of your dad getting married again, stepmom, and as you shared with me, the dynamics was that the stepmom came with her own expectation from your dad, and because he was trying to meet up that expectation, he got into shady deals. How did that affect you as a child growing up in that environment?
Really, really bad. Yeah, really, really bad. I wouldn't really advise anybody to actually get married to somebody that's not doing anything. Even though you are not, even though the thing you are doing is not like big, but at least you can actually provide in the house. When my mom was still alive, she sells drugs. She's a nurse. She sells drugs. Yeah, she sells drugs, and she
You mean medication?
she used to
Why
go
is it
out
drugs?
of drugs.
They've abused that
And
word
that's what
now.
she does. Medication, you know.
Yeah. Please continue. I can hear you.
Oh, sorry. Medication. So yeah, she sells medication. Then when she go and come, she brings money to the house, and then even though my dad is not like capable to actually do some things, she will drop money to do some things. But you want to get married to somebody again. You're getting married to somebody that is not doing anything, that has about 2 child outside for somebody else.
Oh, already. Wow.
Did you understand? It's never
Already.
it's never for someone. You're just I don't know if I can say the job he does. He's just a driver. He works with somebody. He works with one woman like that, and then he's a driver.
That's your dad. So it's not like he had a huge income.
You get? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but we have a serious lag issue. I think almost 10 seconds. I can hear you now. Please continue. Yeah.
Shit.
Okay, so I already have a point from what you were sharing with us, Samuel. That's a huge thing he said. That please don't get married to, and I assume he's talking as a man now to, fellow men and to ladies as well. Don't marry someone who is not doing anything. That's powerful. Again, there's nothing wrong in marrying a single mom. We talked about this a lot last week. There's nothing wrong with marrying a single mom if it's a single mom who is a focused single mom. You know what I mean, guys? There's nothing wrong with that. But then at least make sure that your wife is bringing something to the table. And if you're a man, make sure you have that mentality of being a provider, even if your wife earns. I mean, in modern day, like I've been saying, we have women who earn way higher than their husband. They are on the CEO level 5 leadership level. And so the money is not the issue. But I advise men in those kind of marriages as well to make sure that there's something you're bringing to the table every month for your male respect and dignity. There's something you're bringing to the table. I'm going to try and read. Okay, it's mostly people registering. Nice to have you all. Oh, there's a lot of you joined us now. I'm so glad to have you all on. I'm so glad to have you on. Welcome, everyone. Most of them from Montmate. Welcome, guys. Those are my people. Welcome, welcome. Invite as many as you can. As I was talking before Samuel came back, we have to be very open in relationship when you're courting. During the courtship is when you should ask certain things and put certain things on the table and discuss. Unfortunately, that's the time people waste. Not you guys, of course. That's the time people waste on, emotional love, holding hands, going to places to. There's nothing wrong in when you're courting to go out and do things like that. But please, as you go out on a picnic, for example, have your pen and paper or your iPad or your tablet or your phone ready to ask questions. questions that will mean a lot in your marriage, questions that will be the deal breakers or the deal makers. For example, the issue of money. People don't even know they're supposed to ask that during courtship. You should. Because if you don't, and the problem starts during marriage, guess who is to blame? Yourself. So that's a very powerful one that Samuel chipped in there. Don't marry someone who has nothing doing, you know, even if they're not doing their dream job yet, they have to be willing to work. And I really think that applies to both male and female as well. They have to be willing to bring something to the table. Samuel, please continue. Continue. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I
Okay.
don't know. Maybe I should just like fast forward since
That was the most powerful one you
let-
dropped there. That the man,
Yeah.
that a man should marry someone that has something doing. That's a powerful one. It's a very major thing you said. Please continue.
because it's just an experience. So
Mhm.
I want to like move forward because of the network
Yes,
issues
please.
thing. So I want to
Yes,
like move
please. I
forward
agree.
to my to my relationship life. Yeah, so
Mhm.
I'm done with school. I finished school and then I start working because I'm a model. I'm a model. I model and that's what I do for now.
It was
And
because of
then
your internet connection. I wanted you to introduce properly yourself and what you do. But thanks for chipping that in.
yeah, yeah. So now we move down to uh
Had this connection today. It's a very powerful story he has. So I was sharing with them anyway about your relationship with a single mom. Again, there's nothing wrong with dating a single mom or a single dad. But okay, he's back now. Samuel, are you back?
yeah. I can hear you.
Okay, now I can
So
hear you as well.
yeah. So
Continue,
that's
please.
great. That brings me to my relationship life, and then I met this lady. I met this lady in one modeling thing I went for like that. So I met her. She was like the coordinator of the models, and then I was like,
Samuel, you have to come back. We have to
I,
deal with the issue of your
she was
connection for sure.
I knew she was older than me. I knew she was older, but like I like
We can't hear
the
you.
way
Ah, your connection lags. Can you
she was
please check the connection,
like her
internet
vibe.
connection?
You will know that she's wow. But can you hear me? Can you
I can
hear
hear
me
you.
now?
Yeah, we can hear you, but it lags. Maybe you need to go out and check the connection again. Now it's even just frozen. Okay. Okay. So, like I was saying, the most important thing is that while dating, you talk. In his relationship, it looked like, from my point of view, that's why I wanted him to say it by himself. It looked like he got into the dynamics unwittingly, unplanned of his dad's kind of relationship with his stepmom, right? I hope I got that part of the story right when he was talking to me personally. So he got involved with a single mom. Remember, his dad also was with a single mom. It's not bad. Again, I just need to stress this. If you're a single mom or a single dad watching me, it doesn't mean because life happened that you then should die lonely or stay lonely. Please hear me and hear me well. I used to be a single mom for 10 years, right? But then I spent those 10 years being super focused, building value, re-educating myself, getting very disciplined and close to God, because that's the only way at the end of the day. I developed a personal relationship with Jesus, went to Bible school, aced my game, worked on myself, got to know who I was and what I needed to be, right? That attracted who I needed to attract at the right time. It took almost 10 years. It was not an easy journey, I can tell you already, but it was one that was worth, well, what the weight and the discipline and the waiting, that I put in there. If you're a single person, single parent, and you're watching me today, please don't rush into another relationship that is bound to hurt you, and hurt others. Just stop it already. I was privileged to have a lady tell me this early on, in my single parenthood journey. And I was also privileged somewhere in the middle of my journey to have a colleague, a male colleague, who told me, please don't settle, Rookie. Don't sell yourself short for anyone. You're a phenomenal person. And I'm telling you, singles, doesn't matter if you're single, divorced, single parent, or whatever, please don't sell yourself short. Get to know who you are. Be your own best lover first, because we attract after our likeness. People come into my counseling room and blame their partner. And I'm like, hey, guess who is in a relationship with the person you're blaming? You, right? So you're attracted after your kind, even if you don't want to believe it or you don't want to trust me on that one. Just trust me that an infrared will only work with where the remote control is the right one. So we are who we attract in one form or the other. And the minute you realize that, the more you start to focus on working on yourself. Now, I'm not advocating selfishness by any means. I'm not advocating being overtly self-focused, because that can be very damaging as well. But I'm saying get to date yourself, right? Be in a relationship with yourself. I say it like this: be a student of yourself. Study what you are, what happened to you, where are you coming from in life. That's the purpose of what we're doing today with Samuel and this My Story series, to look at the journeys that we have had in childhood or in the environment where we were nurtured, and see how it might have been affecting or affected and shaped who we've become. And that inadvertently also determines who you attract in a relationship. Samuel, is your connection better now? Move to the point of your relationship. I really want you to talk about that. So she was a single mom, you were saying?
Yeah. So she was a single mom, and then I actually had to talk to her and then maybe ask her out. And then she actually accepted, and I was so surprised that, okay, I don't know, but I actually felt my relationship with her. I actually felt motherly love. Like she took care of me a lot. Like I felt really good with her. She's like very, very sweet, because
mother figure.
She knows that, okay, this guy, she's not like a mother figure. She knows that this guy, you're still trying out to like get to the top, and then she's always there to support. She's always there to support. She's always there to give advice. Very. She's just one in a million, and then.
So what happened? What went wrong in the relationship?
What happened in this relationship is because okay, everything about relationship, as everybody used to say, it's still the monetary part. Can you hear me?
Back to money. Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you for sure. I hear you say it's the money part. So you were not able to provide for her needs, right?
Yeah. So I was not able to provide for her needs then, even when we just started. Not like I cannot, not everything. I can't do everything. Over 100, I think I understand like about 50%, because she's someone that has a house, she has a kid. Come on, I'm very sure we do.
So she can already take care of herself.
I do.
Okay, your internet is acting up again. I told them while you were off. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? I told them while you were off that I was already giving live counseling to those who were watching. I told them that I can hear you.
Can everybody hear me?
If you can hear him, say yes. Type it in the comment section below. I see a lot of others have joined us. We welcome you. Thank you for joining. Now your video is frozen, and because of time, I have to just fill in and hope that you can join again very soon. Hi, Uwa, nice to have you. Nice to have you. Okay, Adeyinka said she can hear you. Yes, she can hear you. We have Rufus, Juwon, Coded Clothing. So many of you joined. Thank you so much for joining. If I'm not calling your name, it's because I can't see it. Uwa from Switzerland, nice to have you. Teju, Vix can hear. You can hear us. Thank you. I think Samuel is offline again. So as you guys know, those who were watching from the beginning, I had already diagnosed his issue, which now he confirmed that the woman is motherly. Remember, he lost his mom at age 17. So that was the attraction. Again, there's nothing wrong in dating or marrying a single mom. I need to start making this very loud so that you don't think I'm judging or disapproving of such kind of relationship. There's absolutely nothing wrong in dating a single mom. If that single mom is disciplined, they have healed from whatever caused the relationship to end. It may be that they lost their husband to death. There's grieving. There's something called grieving, counseling and healing. Some people are not allowed to grieve properly, and they go into another relationship and then repeat the error, and then the new husband can never meet their needs, right? So please take note. I'm saying that very clearly. I'm not saying you can't marry a single mom or a single dad. I'm just saying that you need to do your maths very well and do your homework very well. You need to talk about the obvious, challenges that will face. I mean, every relationship has its own challenges, and then bringing in a mixed family brings incredibly hard challenges that, if you're not aware of, can break the relationship. Or if you're ignorant of it and think, no worry, we love each other, love is all we need. Well, that's true, but knowledge is what it takes for you to apply that love when some really difficult things will come up in that relationship. Money. So for him now, the woman was already independent, and at some point she lost that source of income, right? And because she lost that sort of income, he was expected to step up his game as a man and to, provide the needs, which of course, understandably, he is not able to meet at this point. And I think she broke up with him, which is sad. Samuel, can you hear me now? Your story is very compelling. That's why the internet. I rebuke this internet, whatever, in Jesus' name.
I'm really sorry about everything. I don't know what's happening.
No, it's not your fault. We must hear the part. I want you to tell me, did she break? I want to know if I heard very well. Did the relationship break because of financial issues, right? That you were not able to meet up the financial. Yeah. So I got it right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I wanted to hear that from you. That's sad. But yeah, that's also understandable that one, she was independent already financially, and then she's in a relationship with you, and that's for everyone that's watching us actually. When I don't approve of that, I don't think it's right, but I can't judge her because I don't know the whole of the story. Why do you think she left? Do you think it was just because of the finances, or there was more? Because genuine love, honestly, okay, I don't want to make a general statement that might make people feel like they shouldn't leave a relationship just because the person is not meeting their needs financially. That will be setting especially women up for a lifestyle of slavery in a relationship. So I don't want to make that a generalization, because we've had a lot of problems where men try to bully a woman that, yeah, if you really love me, you stay in a relationship. Let me ask the ladies online, will you stay faithful, or will you stay in a relationship if you're not married to a man who is not able to meet your need? Let's get real, ladies. Let's get real. And men, you should also chip it in there. It might just be you that the reason you're with a woman is because you want the money or the security that she provides. And if that goes right, will you still be in that relationship with a woman? I want to hear your comments below. We're going to be wrapping this up soon, but I'm very happy that we heard from Samuel. You're back. I can see you're back. Can you hear me? Okay. So yeah, let me know. Let me hear from you guys. Today's episode has been short in spite of the technical issues we had with Samuel's connection. I'm sure that you guys got the bulk of his story from my breaking it down. So let's keep the conversation rolling. Is it nice that this lady left that relationship because of money or because of financial? I don't want to say money so that we don't make her look like a gold digger, but the fact that he couldn't meet her financial needs. Should Samuel have been in a relationship with her in the first place? If your answer is no, why not? Why not? Do you think, because somebody wrote me about last week's edition, I don't know if he's here, Damilare wrote and asked that, should someone get married to a single mom when there is a risk that maybe their ex can come back again, right? People become single mom for different reasons: divorce, death, unfortunately, or maybe they got pregnant out of wedlock, right? And all of these categories, the one that I think he was referring to was the one of being pregnant out of wedlock, or maybe the divorce issue as well. Maybe the ex-partner comes. What do you think? Do you think it's right? I mean, I would say what I said earlier already. Every relationship has to be entered with knowledge, not just based on feelings, right? That's what usually causes the problem. People go and get married because they fell in love, and then the following day after marriage, their eyes begin to open. I tell people, if you say love is blind, just wait until you get married and you see how fast blindness can become sight. So if you want to get married, please, the first thing is get to know yourself. Get to know yourself. Get to know yourself. Get to know. I can't say that enough. Who are you? What do you want in life? Where are you going in life? That already, the knowledge of purpose automatically filters out those who have no business being in your life, not to talk about your inner core life, which is what a marriage will be, right? Get to know yourself. And it's not, in modern times, I tell people, stop rushing into marriage, stop rushing to get married and then rush out some 15 years later, some 20 years later, some 10 years later, God forbid, some 5 years later. When you get married absolutely because you are ready for it. You know that you're going into this for the main deal. And what's the main deal of marriage? To be a helpmeet for each other, to be a supportive system for each other. That's what he was saying. You have to get married to someone who totally can support you. And we're not just talking about money, we're talking about emotions, we're talking about knowledge and capability, to be able to stand by you in the, on the journey of life. And journey of life has its ups and downs. There are mountains, there are valleys, right? So please, family, make sure, and I'm looking forward to hear from as many as are on this live show or even watching the replay. What do you think about getting married to a single mom or to a single dad? What are the challenges that might come up? And if you're a single mom or single dad who remarried, please let's know how that's working out. Share your challenges with us or your wins with us and how. And as many as have new things to share, my story series is open. You see, you can join me and share your story with the world about how marriage, your marriage of your parents impacted and formed your outlook towards life, or maybe any other compelling story about relationship that you'd like to share. Please DM us and you'll be the one coming next. Samuel, I know you'll watch this. Thank you for sharing that story. Powerful, powerful. I see a lot of you guys from Montmaid. Hey, nice to have you on. Dauda Idris from Switzerland. Nice to have you on. For as many as are joining, you're blessed. See you again next Saturday when we bring you another topic, another edition, and another guest, hopefully. Join us, family. Love you from Zurich, Switzerland. My name is Ruki Peniel.